Today we are discussing the increase in the tax rate on the Employees Provident Fund. Being a former member of the Employees Provident Fund and understanding the importance of it, I am really appalled at what the government is trying to do. The former Deputy Governor of the Central Bank, Mr. Wickramaratne, in an article written recently in July 2023, said the misunderstood taxation of the EPF and other superannuation funds. And he makes the point there that for too long, people in the EPF have been deceived by telling them that they have a concessionary interest rate of 14%. Actually, what is it concessionary? The EPF is taxed on its gross income. Corporates are taxed on its net income. So we have revenue, we have cost, we have qualifying payments, and after that only actually we are being taxed. But the EPF is taxed on its gross income. So when you look at it closely, actually the taxation on the EPF is often more than it is actually on a corporate. If I had a choice as a member of the EPF and I could take my savings, I would manage it because I would get a higher return than the EPF would give me over 30 or 40 years. And this is the problem that we actually have. Even with the 14%, because they tax the whole gross income and then only they allocate it to each fund. So you are actually paying very, very high taxes. And now the proposal is to increase it to 30%, which is unbelievable. Because if you increase it to 30%, right, you're going to be paying much, much more. And therefore, corporate taxes, though often made out to be that they are higher than the EPF, it's not the case, it's not true. EPF is also a forced saving. It's not a voluntary saving scheme. You have no choice. You have to save. So if we know on the present tax slabs, 100,000 is the tax-free income. 90% of those on the EPF earn probably less than 100,000 rupees. If you take the present tax slabs, when it gets to 12%, if you earn up to 183,000 rupees a month, only the 12% tax slab begins to hit you. So how many people earn less than 183,000 rupees a month? You take the plantation workers of this country. They were 400,000 some time ago, maybe 140, 150,000 now, right? What is this tax? They are being taxed actually. When they won't be actually, if they had the money in their hand, put it in a bank deposit and took it, they won't be really need to even pay a tax. How about all the workers in this country? Most of them are at the low end of earning. There are 22.4 million accounts, 2.5 million present accounts, active accounts in the EPF. So my point is this is unjust. What is happening is really unjust. The DDO suggests that over 16 years, you will get a return, 10.58. If you put the 14% tax, about 9.1% is a return that you are going to get. Even the current market return pre-tax is 13.77. Even by the current market even, you are not going to actually get that. So superannuation funds and the EPF are being treated unequally. Banks, they are doing business, so they need to be taxed. Private individuals and primary dealers, they are doing business. They need to be taxed. But we are saying both these two categories we will not tax. But the EPF belongs to the poor and the low-income earning groups largely in this country, and therefore they should be protected. When this act was originally brought, the act said that there will be no tax. So should we tax the EPF at all, superannuation funds? If we exempt from tax, it should be the poor. If we impose tax, it should be on the wealthy. There's no justification for making only the poor to pay this tax. A study by Verity Research showed us that 14 countries restructured, only banks they restructured. And then out of those 14, 9 included private creditors. And only 2 had restructured social security funds. But not a single country in the world has restructured only its social security fund, the EPF, and not touch primary dealers or private parties or businesses or banks. It's only in Sri Lanka that this has actually happened. So there's clearly an issue, and there's really a problem of being treated unfairly and unjustly. Our Constitution clearly says in Article 12(1), all persons are equal before the law and are entitled to the equal protection of the law. Everybody is. And then in the Constitution, it goes further. In principles of state, directive principles of state policy, 27, in Article 27(1), it says, the directive principles of state policy herein contained shall guide Parliament, the President, and the Cabinet of Ministers in the enactment of laws and the governance of Sri Lanka for the establishment of a just society. I'm reading further, the equitable distribution among all citizens of the material resources of the community and the social products so that the best to subserve the common good or the common interest. It goes on further. In Article 7 there, in 27(7), it says the state shall eliminate economic and social privilege and disparity and the exploitation of man by man or by the state. It says the state shall ensure that the operation of the economic system does not result in the concentration of wealth and means of production to the common detriment. 9 says the state shall ensure social security and welfare. And that is why we say this is unjust.